Welcome back to the Highway 49 podcast. We're back in the studio. I feel like we sound super crisp right now.
Yeah.
Back with whatever episode this is. This is the Max Brown breakdown episode with the man himself, Charlotte's leading all-time passer, Chris Reynolds, in the house. Everyone clap it up for our boy Chris.
Yeah.
Guys, excited to be here. Excited to be here. Been a while.
Yes, sir. I think the last time we were in the studio, you were here. So
Yep.
I always got to tell people, like, you're the first guest to ever come on this show, so appreciate you.
Nice.
First of all, I think 4-time repeat guest now. So.
Nice.
But yeah, guys, let's get into it. Best thing we've seen this week. Hannah, go ahead.
I think we're going to talk about the Olympics a lot in our best thing. I think mine was seeing Tom Cruise do that stunt and then take the flag and then drive the motorcycle, drive it all the way to Los Angeles. I just thought that was really cool. I don't know if you watched the closing ceremonies.
I did see.
Y'all
I
are
think
shaking your head
I saw
like,
the
yeah.
I saw the
Yeah.
video online. I saw the video though.
I thought it was
online.
really cool. He did like in the Hollywood sign, they put the Olympic rings inside the Hollywood sign, so I thought that was really cool. And then they had their beach party. They had Snoop Dogg. They had Billie Eilish. They had what else they have there? The Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's
so
cool.
they had a really fun time out there. But the Olympics was just awesome. I know you guys were gonna get into that. So Hunter, what's the best thing that you've seen?
Yeah. Jeremy and I couldn't hop on your podcast to talk about the
No
Serbia
worries,
game.
man, no
I have a
worries.
huge regret in my heart about that because, man, that was awesome. But, yeah, just Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. That was so much fun to watch. Jeremy and I got to cover the NBA this year, so, like, seeing those guys being able to meet, talk to is just super full circle. And then watching players you grew up, like, idolizing, bringing home the gold. Man, it was beautiful.
Yeah, Hannah was talking about, how the Olympics were there. Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart, that duo is rivaling
That's
Katie
iconic.
and Steph. It's damn
Snoop
near
was
up
the
there.
man, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Martha and Snoop have a time together whenever they're doing stuff together. But like Hunter said, I mean, the Serbia game had me. I made the thumbnail that already said like USA loses to Serbia before. You're down 13 with 7 minutes left. And I'm like, oh, man, this is it. You keep doubling Nikola Jokic. He keeps finding the open shooters. They keep making the threes. And I'm like, what's going to happen? And then Stephen Curry happened. In both the Serbia game and the French game, I think it's really cool that NBC had 20 million viewers tune in for that game. And to see Stephen Curry do what he does best on the biggest stage was just a great full circle moment. I saw someone say, like, this is the best way this generation could have closed out. Seeing the three guys, KD, LeBron, and Steph, doing what we know them doing. You know, LeBron looking like a bull in a china shop, just blowing by people, putting his chest into people, doing the flex celebration. You see KD, where, like, in today's NBA, today's modern era, people don't like the shots KD takes because they're inefficient mid-range shots, but it's Kevin Durant, so who cares?
Yeah.
You know who I am.
You know who I am, Kevin Durant. And then Stephen Curry, just hitting that shot, seeing like the celeb row with Jimmy Fallon, Carmelo, Snoop Dogg, all these guys who are there, and they have the same reaction that I have in my living room was just insane to see. So best thing, like Hunter said, was seeing that golden dagger from Steph. Chris, how about you, man?
The piggyback off that, it's so cool seeing the old heads kind of like lead the way
yeah.
still, and the young guys like having to respect me, like, all right, we're letting these guys roll, and had seen the picture of the dude from the Pacers wearing LeBron stuff when he was a kid. How cool is that? They playing on an Olympic team with him. That's pretty sweet. But my favorite part with the Olympics was the breakdancing. I thought it was great, man. I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea how they were scoring it. All I know what I was doing when USA won, I was like, boom! Take that, world. Yeah.
I saw a thing where someone said me with like 2 tequila shots and then sent me to the Olympics. I was like, literally.
Yeah, sometimes I was like, I think I can do that.
Yeah.
I think I could do that. But
Shout out to Peacock because they made the accessibility to watch any sport so easy if you have the Peacock app. And just like Chris said, you're watching a badminton game at 6 a.m. in the morning, like cheering on USA like it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals or the Super Bowl, So being able to lock in for 15 days and just watch a sport you never saw before, it was a hell of a time, and I guess we'll wait till the next time, 2028.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Chris, you're back on the Highway 49 pod. Before you are doing your training right now, you're back in Charlotte. You were a Charlotte 49er, and then you had your own pro journey. Will you just talk a little bit about that and what that process was like and how that all was like for you at a pro level for the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah. So obviously we went through the draft prep. We talked about that last time I was here. Had a couple rookie minicamp invites with the Panthers and the Bills. I ended up turning both of them down just because of the situation within their quarterback rooms. Like they drafted Bryce, they had Andy Dalton, they had Eason, they had another guy, I forgot who it was on roster already. So it's kind of one of those like, okay, is there really a good chance to make roster? And what happened was if I didn't have to report to Calgary, I probably would have done them, or I would have done them. But the dates for the mini camps were after when I had to report for Calgary, and I really wanted a job, and I wanted the opportunity to play football still. So I took the Calgary job, went out there, was on active roster, got through the season. They re-signed me to another contract, came back, went through training camp with them. They had a veteran. They brought in a veteran, 29-year-old guy. It kind of put a couple of us younger guys off the radar. So they released 2 of us, part of the business. So now when I got released 3 months ago, I started training quarterbacks. I started marketing it about 3 months ago, and it's kind of blown up a little bit to the point where I think I can go into another off season of it and look forward to be excited about it and possibly do this for the future coming on. But first things first, I don't want to put a fork in the playing yet. I'm going to do a UFL tryout next month, see what happens, see how it shakes out, and keep all doors open. But right now you kind of approach that fork in the road. But obviously, I still got a bunch of ball in me left, so I might as well give it a shot.
Absolutely.
No doubt, man. And will you talk a little bit about I'm just curious, like we talked on the way in off like the Canadian football lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is that like living in Calgary, obviously away from what you've known and loved, Davie County and then Charlotte?
So because you walk into Calgary and you've never been there, right? So
Yeah.
you're like kind of like you sign the piece of paper and you're like, all right, well, guess I'm going to Canada. So it's kind of like the first thing you think is like, oh, it's cold. Snow on the ground the whole time, right? Smaller city, not as many people. Wrong. There was over 1 million people in Calgary. It was a huge city, great environment. The summers were beautiful. Banff is right down the road, an hour away. Beautiful crystal blue waters, godly mountains. Like you walk into this place, guys, I'm telling you, don't think it's real.
Yeah.
It's something I'm going to go back to do. And I do this thing called the Calgary Stampede, and it's like a week-long rodeo. Ice Cube came into town. Jack Harlow came into
awesome.
town. It was mobbed. Like everybody was flying in all from Canada and from the U.S. So great environment, great weather. It gets to about 70 degrees in the summer, but once you get to that September, October, you'll get to those. So remember, they do Celsius. So everybody's talking degrees when I get there. I'm like, what you're telling me it's 20 degrees and it's hot? Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah, no doubt. But unreal experience. The people were awesome. I loved my teammates, the quarterback room especially. Still talk to them every single day, and we're going to keep staying close.
One thing from the Olympics that I got was like, what the hell is a kilometer?
Right.
What the hell is a kilometer?
Yeah. When you're driving up there, it's like,
Yeah.
you have your mile marks. It's
Exactly.
kilometer marks. And
Yeah.
it happens a lot faster. So you come back down here, you feel like exits are so far apart.
Yeah,
But
that's
because everything's so
That's
much shorter up
interesting.
there. Yeah.
And then some guy named Cole Hawker, he won like the long distance because he was used to doing the full mile, but I don't want to get too far away. What was it like for you also when, sorry, 'cause I could just go on a tangent, but like, what was it like going and making that transition where this is a job now?
Yeah.
And this isn't, just like, even though you have passion for it in college, but like this is like you're clocking in, this is your job,
You know what? It's one of those things where it's like, that's how I treated my last few years, especially my last few years at Charlotte. Literally, like, and I'm not saying this is the way to do it for these athletes out there, but I really did prioritize my athletic experience because I really wanted Charlotte to be good. I wanted to put my best foot forward at all times. And if it meant, all right, I'm breaking down my week and I'm doing my film study. I'm doing my first and second downs on Mondays. I'm doing my third downs on Tuesdays. I'm doing my red zones on Tuesdays as well. Going over situational football on Wednesdays in the film room, making sure my body's recovered. I really made my schedule so it was a pro schedule. So when I got to Calgary, it didn't feel foreign.
Seamless transition.
And I honestly felt like I was like more pro ready than guys that were doing it because they didn't get the prep the way like I did.
Yeah.
So it was cool seeing that, walking into that and like, okay, I'm built for this. I can do this. I think the biggest adjustment was the style of play.
Yeah.
Like the CFL is different. It's really run and shoot. And what I mean by that, you catch a snap and everything's happening post-snap usually. You might get a clue before, but not as much as you would with American football. With the Canadian football, with all the sideways motions, right, and the extra player in the field, it's hard to get a key of what they're trying to do. And I thrived in college of pre-snap keys.
Yeah.
With all my film study and understanding, okay, in this, I think they're going to bring 2 guys off the edge, roll to a 1 high shell. I know what's going to be my answer here. I can cancel 2 routes and work 1 to 2. It was hard for me to do that in the CFL. I made it work. Like, I had a really good preseason, and I felt really comfortable. I found a way to make it work. But I am excited to have an opportunity to possibly play American football again, to put my tool belt back to work, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of exciting stuff, though, with the CFL, too. With the extra player in the field, more receivers, wider field. You get the bigger end zone, the goalpost in front. The clock stops every time you catch the ball. Like in the instead of a 2-minute drill where the clock just keeps running in America, it's a 3-minute drill. And every time so for example, you throw a 5-yard in, the clock doesn't keep running. It starts going when the ref spots the ball again.
Gotcha.
So a lot of action happens in the last 3 minutes. And it allowed me to use my feet a little bit more, like my off-platform, out-of-the-pocket stuff. I got to use even more in the CFL. So there's definitely pros and cons, but I'm excited to use my skill asset again.
Yeah. And how was it? I'm curious. How was it being so far away from home? Because you grew up relatively close to Charlotte. You went to Charlotte, Davie County.
Yep.
Good old Davie County.
Yeah, no doubt.
How was that transition for you, like being so far away from home?
It's
How did
definitely
you
it was an
handle that?
adjustment for sure.
Yeah.
You know, definitely the first couple months when you live in a dorm for the first 3 weeks because of training camp. Because you're right, I went to Charlotte, I went away from home, but how far away? I knew my family was an hour and 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
My dang little brother was on the team. So going away was definitely tough, but it was a great experience for me because after 2 months, it felt like home. I had a cool apartment because you do short-term leases. Like I said, the camaraderie on the team was cool. The quarterback room was great, and it felt like family. Definitely was an adjustment for 2 months, and my family came up. My mom and dad came up twice. Then the 3 bye weeks within the CFL season allowed me to come back a couple times. So it was great buffers.
Yeah, man. And speaking of, you brought up Jack, so we gotta ask about him, man. Curious. I saw you out a few games last year. Good to catch up. What has it been like seeing Jack kind of grow up? Under this obviously new regime, but I mean, you're watching him.
Yeah.
Really take that step.
And I want to give him all the credit in the world, but it's also like from my point of view, it's like, all right, I'm seeing the kid become a little brother to a man.
Yeah.
Because I'm leaving. Like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
No, it's your show, bro. Like, go. Get it done. Figure out a way. Have fun. Enjoy. Work hard. Seeing him come into his own shell a little bit, create all of his own camaraderies. Because don't get me wrong, he was doing it already, but he always had me and like the Cam Ballers of the world, people like that. He's got a great thing going with his friends, especially with like Trexler Ivy, Colin Weber's their roommates. And every time I'm around from a bird eye view, you can see that Jack's kind of like the laughing guy.
Yeah.
The guy who kind of gets the guys going, brings the energy within the locker room, gets the guys going. So that's special for me to see. The thing that I love about Jack is that Jack's always going to show up.
Yeah.
Jack's always going to know what he's doing. He's not going to mess up when it comes to being on the field. He's going to know his responsibilities, and when he gets the ball, he's going to make a play. And it's one of those things with being a walk-on, and I, because for me it was different, right? I got my scholarship within a year. He's going into his 4th year and doesn't have a scholarship yet. And he's like, it gets frustrating for him because he's doing all the right things, making plays, but at the same time, it's part of it. Yep. You know what I mean? This is a business, right? And he realizes that, but it also fuels him in a way. It's like, this is pissing me the heck off, but I'm going to keep working every single day and showing up and proving to these coaches, no matter what you do, whatever you throw at me, whoever you bring in, I'm going to show up every single day and know what I'm doing and make plays.
Yeah.
So I commend him for that, and I'm proud of him for that, and he's going to keep doing it. So I'm excited to see what the season brings for him. I'm hoping for great things. I'm hoping for great things for all of Charlotte, right? Not just my little brother, for the whole team itself. So, I mean, Jack loves it. He loves football. We'll see what happens this year.
Definitely, man. And I guess, I mean, you had quite a few offensive coordinators through your time, but what is it like having, like you had Carney, right, for the late portion of your career? What is it like? So he is in year 2 with Miller now, getting that, I guess, grounds, like level of comfort with someone like that.
No doubt. And because for me, I went from Jeff Mullen to Shane Montgomery to Alex Atkins to Carney. Yeah. Now, the Atkins to Carney transition was easier because we use similar terminology. It was a similar offense. Now, the first 2 were completely different offenses, and then Montgomery to Atkins was a different offense. So I know what it's like to go into from year 1 to year 2. It's a great, refreshing feeling. So I can imagine not only for Jack, but for the whole offense, it's like, okay, same terminology. We can pick up from where we left off. We can grow on our foundation and keep going. So I think this should be a really good year for the offense, especially when you have a bunch of returners and bringing in Max and whatever competition you have going on in there. It would be a special thing going forward when you add a year 2 in an offense.
Definitely. And we've got out to watch a couple of the practices, kind of see how this team is. And last year it was defensively dominated. The front 4 was killing them consistently. This year it goes back and forth. It's fun to see Max kind of progressing in the offense. Fun to see guys like Sean Brown, you talked a little bit about him off air, taking that step. Guys like Colin Weber coming back, and Johnny King, who's been there for the longest, man. I want you to talk about Johnny real fast. What has your relationship been like with him? Because he's been there since COVID year.
So, Johnny came in 2020. you could tell he was just a blue collar, hardworking kind of guy. And I love being around those guys because if I'm gonna work, I want you to work too.
Yeah.
And you kind of just migrate towards those types of people. And Johnny was this most gentle giant in the world. And you're seeing him grow from 2020 to seeing him this past summer in 2024 as a leader, like the leader of the offense, the offensive line, and taking control. I'm so happy for him. I'm excited to watch him play this year. I think he's gonna kill it. What is he, preseason?
I think he's third team. But
Yeah, good for Johnny, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a wrestling background too. I don't know if you knew that. I think he was like a state championship wrestler.
That's awesome.
But I love Johnny King. Not only is he a great football player, but a great human being.
Definitely, man.
Yep.
And he'll be protecting Charlotte's newest quarterback coming in, Max Brown from Florida.
Yep.
And while we got you here, man, we're about to put the thinking cap on, get some game breakdown from the man himself.
No doubt. Let's do it.
So we cut up some clips. We'll get them up on the screen here in a second. But 11 or 12 clips from Max Brown's first year at Florida. He had some ups, he had some downs. It's kind of like the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we'll all talk through those clips. But yeah, stay tuned and we'll get that up. All right, guys, Chris Reynolds here breaking down Max Brown's first season film at Florida as a true freshman.
All right, good deal here. First of all, playing in these type of environments, right, is only going to help him, right? Some of the questions being like, okay, coming into Florida, right, how many games has he played? Playing in these games alone probably added 6 games of maturity for a normal quarterback, all right? This is a big deal right here. Florida State, end of the year, trying to become bowl eligible, right? These moments are only going to continue to help Max Brown, and I'm excited to watch him this year. Before we even get started, the kid has some baseball background, which I already knew about. A little bit biased. I'm a baseball guy myself, right? Being able to throw from different arm angles is a big deal. Off platform, if your base isn't set, being able to create uncomfortable throws that maybe a pro-style taller guy can't make, right? So this is kind of one of the examples of it. We run a sail concept, a flood concept, right, which is a 3-level route. The number 1 receiver on the outside on paper has a post, okay? But if there's any type of 1 high, right now we have a 2 high look. If there's any type of 1 high defense, he's going to turn into a go ball to clear out for your deep out. Your post is really only for cover 4, which is a 2 high safety look with deeper corners. We can get over top because the safety is going to grab a 10-yard or deeper route, okay? So in this scenario, with the backside dig, so usually on any type of sail route concept, you're going to have a backside dig to get to the middle of the field. We'll talk about in a second. So what happens here, they show you a 2 high look, all right? Then they roll to kind of a quarters, but the safeties are getting depth, okay? So what Max does, which he does perfect, he cancels the post, right? We're good. We don't need it. Get this thing to roll again. So we have our post returns into a go, which are deep out, and our number 2 receiver is going to run a grab route to hold the low defenders. He sees he has room to make the throw and throws the deep out route. Perfect throw. Let me back it up again. Perfect. Off platform, slightly to the left, he keeps his head so stable through the throw, which is very important to be a rotational thrower, because that's what we're striving to be nowadays. Watch how still his head stays. Works around his body, allows you to create an accurate pass toward the sideline 2 feet in.
So you said the first guy kind of cleared some space for him. What happens if he doesn't right there?
So this guy, number 2 receiver right here. So there's multiple ways you can run a flood, right? This number 3 receiver can bolt straight to the flat with this guy running out. So we could have this guy run the flat, this guy run the arrow or the deep out, this guy run the post that converts to a go. This scenario, we ran it from the number 2 receiver. So boom, grab, come underneath with the out underneath. What we're trying to do is kind of hold one of these 2 low defenders so we can create a 1-on-1 matchup.
Got it.
Right? Technically, he could have thrown the low route right here, but he has just enough room that he sees space to throw this route over the top. He had room, take it. And this is just him being an athlete too, with all of his baseball background and ability to rotate around his body to make a powerful throw, moving left. Slight movement left, keeps his front side closed, beautiful dot on the sideline. Perfect. Then just to back up a little bit, just so understanding concepts. So you see on the backside, it's hard to see, we have a dig route, right? This tight end back here has a dig route with kind of a check release from the back. If you have any type of cover 2, split safety look with a hard corner, we can't throw this concept. And that's what his saving grace is. So he does a good job of not getting spooked by the 2 high shell and understanding that it's 4 and knowing he still can work his sail route. So it's just there's a lot that goes into it, and he does a great job of managing this play. And think about it. It's the first quarter against Florida State. In the first 5 minutes, he's making plays like this.
3rd and 10.
That tells me that tells me you have a calm head. Great play. All right, next play. So situational football here. So now we're playing against Missouri, right? 4th quarter, 11 minutes ago, 4th and 4. A lot of times when you get into those 4th and 4 range, 3rd and short ranges, you're going to get a lot of man coverage, right? There's different variations. So right now they're giving you a 4 down front. Back up a little bit. Giving you a 4 down front with a 1 backer box, right? He usually has your running back, okay? If he blocks, the back blocks, he's going to add in for pressure, all right? If the back gets out, he'll chase the back, okay? They're running an all slants concept. So now they're showing a 1 high safety look, right, with a robber. They're shading this safety to the field for one person, and that's Ricky, who got drafted by the 49ers. There's a reason why they're doing this, all right? Take away your slot fades, your corners, your big playability, right? So because right now it's 11 minutes, they don't want a big play for Florida. Missouri's like, we can't give up any big plays. So in this situation, when they give you a man look, you can tell it's man by their eyes and hips, right? Obviously. But all saying, so what I'm seeing is with a 1 high shell and the robber, that our inside routes are dead, probably. That's his job, to take away the inside routes. And they're going to read his eyes right here. So he does a good job of understanding his matchup. 22 is a good player as well. And working an outside matchup in man versus the robber look. Great play, great execution, right? Way to do your job. That's how you do it. 1st down. Next play.
Yeah, Jackson gets quite active here.
Yeah. That's who that is?
Yeah.
Jackson. Yep. Great play. See how the middle guys, they get in the middle field. If you throw any interior route, that's a headache. Great job of understanding that's a robber defender who's working your eyes. Hold down the middle for a quick second and work your outside slant. Perfect.
And is this one of those scenarios where it looks like Ricky coming out that slot is also open on that side? It's him just making a decision, looking at the robber and kind of, making because I guess the slot guy isn't open right?
Yeah, you don't want to, because of the robber. Now, granted, this robber guy's always going to be reading his eyes. So it looks how he goes right. Watch what the robber guy does.
Goes right.
Starts going right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, granted, could you look him away, then go? But it's an inside slant. It's got to get out.
Quick decision.
A lot of times those inside slants got to happen versus pressure or zone blitz, something along those lines. But otherwise, we're really using that inside slant to hold somebody to throw an outside guy.
4th and short, what type of – is this a play that you are confident in running when you hear this get called?
No doubt. I mean, personally, they run double slants from both sides. I wouldn't mind maybe some type of slant arrow on the other side for a rub opportunity if we're going to run a slant concept, like a corner, back in the arrow, slant with double slants to the field. Now I have multiple opportunities. I could get a Mike or a Will backer to get rubbed with the stop route, right, to get an opportunity for the back and the flat.
Got you.
But slants are good versus man, so let's run slants. That's fine. I mean, I get it. I can understand the thinking there. But I also wouldn't mind more options.
Definitely.
All right. Let's back this up a little bit. Great throw. Let the people watch the whole play. Let the people watch one more time. So they run a double move to the field. But first things first, let's see what formation they're in. They're in FIB, formation in the boundary, okay? Your 3 receivers are tucked into the boundary with not a lot of space, giving you a 1-on-1 matchup to the field. Now, as a defense, what am I going to do? Am I going to shade a safety, an extra safety, to the field, giving me numbers in a boundary? Or am I going to keep it 1 high and shade to the boundary? Now I got my 1-on-1 shot. So this is a great job right here of trusting your guy to win. So a lot of times to the field, your corner is going to be looking at your receiver, but also at the quarterback a little bit, at your feet. By Max stopping his feet right there and just stopping, the corner is going to stop for the half a second that you need. That's why the corner went from his hips and eyes inside, so let's watch here, to turned around. Because he hesitated for that 1 second, allowed the receiver to work his study to get out. Now, the beauty of this play is that Max doesn't get too antsy and just chuck it deep, right? Overthrow him with a high shoulder defensive back. He does a great job of throwing a high back shoulder, giving his receiver a chance. That's what we're looking for in quarterback play. In these one-on-one situations, it's not about throwing the perfect over-the-shoulder ball, but throwing the right ball, right? DB right behind you, throw it over the shoulder. Great. DB out in front, throw that back shoulder, high back shoulder. Give your guy a chance because worst case scenario, what do we get? PI.
Yeah.
right? Great situational football right here by Max. Good ball.
So you're saying when he plants, that DB is seeing him plant and saying, okay, he's getting ready to throw.
Correct.
That's
So
the half second.
So a lot of times with these DBs, and I did it a lot in college, and my boy Nafis Lyon, he was
Yeah.
king at this.
CFL monster. But
Yeah, 100%. If you stop your feet like you're throwing a quick slant, like quick game footwork, a corner's going to stop every time. They watch your feet. They don't look at your eyes, really. Corners are checking your feet. If you show quick game footwork, they'll stop right there. So he does a great job of almost showing like a quick slide for a slant or a hitch to stop the corner for 1 second, which allows the receiver to get behind just for a second, or at least turn the corners back. So, because a lot of times if he took a rhythm 3-step drop, smooth, crispy, the corner just kept bailing.
Yeah.
I threw a pick like that against FAU, the same exact play in 2019. My young mind, right? Just threw it up because I wanted to throw a hitch and go to Vic Tucker.
Yeah.
Homecoming, man.
No doubt. I remember like yesterday, bro. But I learned that lesson right away. I was like, okay, I got to show some type of quick game footwork to hold these guys for 1/2 of a second to give my receiver a chance.
Now, is this play only for that wide receiver to get a one-on-one? What else is happening?
No, yeah, so let's look down here.
Side of the field.
Yep, great question. Let's watch the routes concept real fast. Oh, sorry, last play. So it looks like I can't really see, but I think it looked like some type of slot fade.
Yeah.
Right. So if they do shade a person to the field, right, we should have numbers in the boundary.
Exactly.
So if it's zone, right, and they shade that safety to the field and they want to play a soft corner, they're going to have a skiffed hitch on the outside. It might have been a 9-stop, which is like a 10-yard retrace. But either way, if they're playing zone, they have a soft corner, we can throw that gift in the boundary.
Okay.
Now, if that corner latches on, now we got our slot fade in the boundary.
Okay.
It's a shorter throw as well. So you have options. So this is what I'm talking about with pre-snap looks. He can tell himself before the play even starts, okay, I have my one-on-one. Let's rock and let's roll. Great. Here we go. Same thing. All right, everybody shaded to the boundary. Let's take my one-on-one shot. If they were rotated to the field, now I can work my two-man concept in the boundary. Great catch by that guy. Perfect throw right here. Another good look of it. Halt him just a little bit, give him a chance, right? Great look. All right. Yep. Part of the game right here, right? It's never going to be perfect. We just talked about a few great plays by Max. And this isn't all entirely his fault, right? You're a guy, right? Younger guy getting thrown into the fire late. You're in a pistol formation. A lot of times with pistol, you got to move up a little bit to the center, right? Just for timing purposes because the back's farther back, right? Usually in shotgun, your back's toes are at 5.5. Now he's at about 7 yards. So we got to move up a little bit to have a good mesh, right? So the snap jumps in you a little bit faster, right? And you can see it kind of catches up a little bit of a bobble. Let's get another look. A little bit of a bobble, and he kind of doesn't carry extend his right hand all the way, right? Kind of we get a better look on the backside. This is part of it. This is sometimes maybe not getting enough reps in practice, right? Working this type of run mesh, it's part of it. And I know at practice, these guys, this is no issue, right?
Yeah.
But this is just kind of an example, right, of later in the year, not as many reps within the season, right? Not getting up because also look at the running back's right arm.
Yeah.
He doesn't get it all the way up.
Yeah.
Right? Granted, it's always they always take pride in the quarterback, right? Hey, make sure you put that ball in his stomach. You didn't have much of pocket to put it in there. So timing, not as many reps, working together, part of it. It'll happen. Bet you didn't happen again though.
Yeah.
No, it actually didn't. This is the play.
All right, set the scene for us real quick.
Yeah, look at this. All right. So situational football here, right? 4 minutes left in the game, right? Yeah, 3rd and 3, you're on the opponent's side of the field. You're in field goal range, or you're trying to get in the field goal range. So the goal is once you get in there, protect the dang football.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're not in a rush. We don't need to keep chucking it down the field. Honestly, we're trying to keep away a little bit. Just a little bit. We're not in a rush. We still need to get in the field goal range, right? So they run a inside zone concept with a orbit motion by the receiver. So receiver motions to the backfield, it settles. They're going to motion them back out. Now, everybody coaches it different, right? But for me, when I was doing these types of reps, if we had an orbit motion, right, he's going to send them again, and nobody matches him, right? They match him right now, right? But if he stayed high, I'm throwing that bad boy.
Immediately.
I got 2 for 2 with a high safety. Let's rock.
Yeah.
Right? Then after that, so say he chooses not to throw it, which is correct. Don't throw it right now. Now it turns into modern day triple option. All right? We're going to read the end. Bang. What I was always taught is the quarterback's is a better athlete than the defensive end. I play with Alex Highsmith, so I don't know. All right?
And Marquise, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Marquise, and Tyreek, all these guys, right? But 2019, I could get around them every now and then. But Max is a great athlete as well, right? Baseball player, like I said, played at Florida, can run the ball really well. Playing SEC football tells you he's an athlete, right? Does a great job of using his trajectory of hash number sideline, right? That's the path you have to take off the mesh and inside zone. So now he bursts off the mesh, great job. So now if there was an extra defender like this guy, if he was standing right here, then we could duke it out again. So now we can use him again, right? So you have your pre-snap orbit. Do I like it? Yes or no? No, I don't like it. Great call. Read the end. Then if the next level defender comes down, we can duke it back out, okay? Great job working hash, the numbers to sideline, and getting down. Protect the ball. See how he puts 2 hands on the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's watch it again. This is such a, people don't talk about this stuff enough. Get upfield, get in your team in field range, 2 hands, cuff, get down, protect the ball. First down, Florida. Put your team in field goal range. Great job, Max.
So we just watched a play with, a botched, handoff that led to a fumble. This is an RPO. Can you just talk to, the listeners about the differences between the RPO and then a handoff with the running back, the guy who's doing the swing, and then the QB? Because when I'm seeing this on the surface, and I'm saying, how does this running back know what he's going to do based off of what the offense is showing?
No doubt. And the running back doesn't know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get RPOs mistaken, right? Some people think just because it's a play action pass, it's a RPO. No. The RPO is there is a run play, and then there's a passing option off of it.
Yeah.
In an RPO, we are putting a defender in conflict. Let's watch it again. Every RPO, you must be putting a player in conflict. And what I mean by player is defensive player.
For the record, real fast, Max said this was his favorite play
So
in
cool.
his year at Florida.
All right, so in this situation, we're putting the defensive end in conflict, right? Now, if we had a tight end in here and he was split zoning across and blocking him, now we're working numbers in conflict, right? Or a 4 defender. And what I mean by 4 defender, we're blocking 3 to the front side, right? And 3 on the back side with the D. If we had a tight end in this situation, right now we're only blocking 5. But if we had a tight end coming across, we'd be taking care of 3 on the back side as well. The 4 problem is the 4th defender on the outside.
Okay.
So if we had like a slant, a hitch, a 5-step glance, now we're putting that 4th defender, extra defender in conflict. And if he comes in for the run, we'll throw it, right? Because we put him in conflict. He has a run responsibility and a pass responsibility. And he has to make a decision, what's he want to do, right? This defensive end has a choice, right? Am I going to tackle the back on the dive, or am I going to make sure I seal the edge with the quarterback?
Yeah.
We put him in conflict, right?
There's a play later where Jared Verse does a similar, except he just kind of olays just right past.
Yeah, and it's in this guy right here. He's trying to do surf technique, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
He's trying to surf the line, trying to make it a 2-way go.
Trying to hold both. At the same
But
time.
in their mind, they kind of have an idea what they want to do,
Yeah.
right? So you can kind of see he hesitates just a second because he was looking for the running back to come back, right? And Max outruns him. Great play. Perfect. Now let's see what we got here. Oh, I remember this one. Okay.
That's the Verse play. where
This
he-
is tough.
Yeah.
Right? And this technically he should just hand this ball off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And here's why. This is not a read option. And I could be completely wrong, I could be misreading this. But this tight end's supposed to be coming across and sealing the edge, right? It's all he's supposed to be doing. But he gets there so fast. And this tight end kind of takes his time just a little bit. That this guy
That's the
creates
split
chaos.
you're talking about?
Yeah, split
Okay.
zone. We call that split zone, okay? So he comes across, and this defensive end completely screws up the play. See how he's trying to come up?
Oh.
Yeah, he's supposed to
So
do
technically, we should be sealed. Running back should be able to take care of it. It's 3rd and 1. Let's get the first down. But Max does a great job of saving the play, okay? Protects the ball once, sees it, gets the first down. When in doubt, man, you have the keys. You have the ball, right? It's your choice what you do with it, and the coach's job to grade it, right? He does a great job of protecting the ball and getting the first down. That's a plus to me, right? Great job, dude. Saving a play. Tight end didn't come across in time. The defensive end is steaming upfield. You think he might tackle him for a loss, for 4th and 4.
Yeah.
Put the ball in your hand, let's roll.
Yeah.
So, great play.
His teammates talk about he's got a little swag to him. I'll be interested to see that
believe
this
it.
year.
He's got that humble swag.
Yeah.
See, the tight end just completely whiffed, right?
Yep.
Great job saving it. It's a good look here, right? You send your motion out, get your man in zone indicators. To me, that's telling me it's zone because nobody ran out with him, right? Great job. Just simple numbers here, right? You're going to have your option, right? This could technically be an RPO as well, right? You have your run option, which is your quarterback draw, with your hot screen to the boundary. If you have numbers on your bubble, pre-snap, take it,
Yeah.
right? But Max got a 4-man box right now.
Yeah.
Show that you're going to throw that ball and get your ass upfield.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times Jalen Jones ran the same exact play last year in Charlotte's offense.
When you get another extra hat in the box,
Yeah.
right? If your quarterback's in there, right, and your running back's in there, and you can have the running back out there pulling somebody away, now you have an advantage, right? Because, look, you got a 4-man box. Show eyes to the screen. Let's ride. Boom. Perfect. Let's rock. Safety's not fitting that in time. First down or 3rd and 1. Great job. This is tough. Right, they're running a naked bootleg, right, from pistol. And this is a hard throw, all right? Let's not underestimate. It's part of it. You're not going to make them all. So the rule with these types of concepts, you always want to work bottom up, right, with your on the roll stuff. Like, always work bottom up. It times out better. This is one of those situations where he gets chased upfield, and that makes it really hard on the angle of the throw, right? You're working 45 degrees right, and you're trying to throw, kind of like trying to create energy, generate power, and throw across your body slightly. So it's one of those things where it's like you don't throw the perfect ball, just kind of put a little bit more touch and work. And I promise you he won't make that mistake again. He's too much of an athlete. And I know the guy who he works with right now, a quarterback trainer. That's my guy. We do a lot of stuff like this, right? One of those things, he gets a little bit depth, right? He gets flushed back in the pocket, right? It causes him to pull across his body just a little bit, right? Part of it, you're going to miss him, right? Look, he takes ownership. That's what you got to do. Especially as quarterback, man. No matter what happens, it could be your fault, and also it couldn't be your fault. Taking ownership, no matter what, is so powerful, and your teammates will trust you that much more to fix it every time. It's great. When your receiver knows he messed up, but the quarterback takes ownership of it, the receiver's like, all right, I want to play with this guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's powerful, and you can see he's that kind of guy. You know. So you see how these guys manage the motion, right? They rock down, right? They're showing pressure off the field side. Perfect. Big scenario here. 3rd and 12. Now, granted, I don't know why Florida State's running man on 3rd and 12, right? That's usually like your Tampa 2s, right? Your 2-mans, right? But they're bringing pressure cover 1, right? Getting an opportunity to work a 1-1 matchup with Ricky. Great job, Max. Find your matchup, right? 3rd and 12, that's matchup game, right? We get a spray from Ricky, too, on motion, right? We see motion. He's running across with him. Now we can create this guy off balance, right? So now see how his hips are turned to the top of the screen? Now we can work across him. Great job understanding leverage, right? Coming across, throwing on time, throwing a beam across the middle of the field. Great catch as well.
Now, you talked about, this environment. It's 3rd and 12 as it shows. He drops back. As a young guy, is FSU thinking, let's just try and
They could, absolutely,
make a quick
100%.
decision? And then to counter that, is he just saying, if I can stay in the pocket long enough for Ricky to get that open, then it's there?
Yeah, no doubt. And that's trusting his guy, right? And when in doubt, younger guy, first, not as much experience in these SEC level games or big games like this, and he's handling this perfect, right? Calm under pressure. Throw it to your good guy, right?
Yeah.
And for some context on this, Florida was down multiple O-linemen. Florida State had a field day on the sack department, and that's, I guess, leads to a couple of these upcoming clips too.
No doubt. And, cover 1, pressure, right? Now, I always hated, this stuff was easier for me because it's man. I know it's man. The harder ones are the simulated pressures when you show, cover 2, bring 2 guys off the edge, drop the opposite defensive end, right? That was always harder. But this is a situation for him where he was allowed to just, all right, bring your pressure. Yeah, you're right. We're going to go 5 for 5 offensive line-wise. I like the back views. The back views are great. We're going to go 5 for 5 and let the back take the extra guy, right? Good. We're protected. Let's work our matchup. Great ball by Max. Boom. Let me shimmy shake. That's why you got drafted by the 49ers.
Yeah.
Great ball.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan will love that guy. All right. Kind of giving you kind of a man look again that turns into zone. This is tough, man. You know, 2nd and 16, they're going to throw a bunch of trash, take what they can give you. This is part of it, right? He's going to learn from these, especially with these on-the-move type of routes, right, that don't stop. A lot of times you like to see them settle in zone. And I think, you know, I don't know what they were coaching in this situation, maybe because there's 2 crossers. But usually a crosser like that shallow route will sit it down in zone, right?
Yeah.
So you just put it on his upfield shoulder, climb for maybe 8 yards.
Can you talk about what you're seeing by the D line too, where it looks like he's like
They're stunting.
Oh yeah, and they're
Yep.
coming around.
TEs, ETs, whatnot.
Correct. Like all different. It depends what you want to call it, right? Everybody calls it differently. But the point of it is to make 2 guys grab one, right, to leave an open slot. So the offensive line has to do a good job of bumping each other back to take care of the stunt. So they're coming across here, right, causing the center and the right guard to keep eyes on him. You see how your left guard is eyes left. They're banking on him because his first tell right here is the guy inside of him goes right. All right, let me look left.
Gotcha.
Right? So now he's got to be able to look back inside and find the guy wrapping around, which I think he does. See how he wraps all the way around? And what it does, it creates the slightest delay, right? And offensive lineman like, oh, crap. And that's the difference between a sack, right, and a positive play. And it's something that, like, we always did when I was there, and I know they do it too. Every college does it. They do blitz pickup periods or stunt periods, right, where offensive linemen get practice, but it's a lot different when it's full speed, right, and in situations like this. But going forward, right, just either throw it away, tough situation, guy right in your face, right?
Yeah, on your back foot off.
Yeah.
Platform.
Trying to, if you can, right, feeling pressure. See if we can watch that again. Oh, did I go all the way back?
Yeah, I think he went back.
Yeah.
There you go. The next situation may be trying to find a way to get into the cozy part of the pocket, right, and not getting too antsy with our feet and flushing away, right? Let's see if we have an opportunity to step up. Right, possibly getting right back in that area, right, in that comfortable part. And sometimes our eyes will drift us. I was a victim of that a lot in college, like looking my eyes left and my feet drifting left as well. So getting comfortable, finding this comfort zone in that pocket, you know. Those are always the hardest ones, man, when your head snaps back. You always try to want to stay away from those.
And I'll say this, the reason I threw these in are just to show people, if you look at his stats, this is his 1 interception, where it is in the game.
It's part of it, man. I got about dang near 40 interceptions, right? One of those things, you know, you got to make a play. It's 4th and 20,
Yeah.
right? There's like, am I going to shame him for throwing a pick on the first play? Absolutely not. You got to throw the ball. The worst thing you can do is die with the ball in your hands. So, you know, he tries to make a tight window throw to Ricky. You know, if that gets through, it's a first down.
Yeah.
You know, part of it, man.
So defense is running what?
It's
It
like,
looks
this
like
is
they're
kind of like
playing
it's like a prevent type of defense, right? Like a deep,
everything
like,
in front of you.
yeah, everything in front of you. And the offense is running a chains concept, right? Where they're trying to get as deep as they can, sit it down. Get as deep as you can, sit it down. Get as deep as you can, sit it down. Get to the chains, right? Common play on these 4th and long situations, 3rd and long situations. Just trying to find a window, right?
Yeah.
Tough situation for Max, 4th and 20. You're down 2 scores, got to make a play, you know? Right, everybody coming down to the sticks. You got a robber right down the middle. Tough situation, right? Gotta throw the ball though. Maybe next time he scrambles.
Yeah.
Right. This is an unbelievable throw. Same thing, right? We're on the roll, working bottom up, right? We want to throw Ricky at first, right? But he sees that he gets this guy to stop his feet for 1 second with his eyes inside, and that because if he throws this ball, that guy's gonna fall off right now and give him a headache,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So he does a great job of holding for a second, then ripping it right behind his ear. I mean, come on.
That's a
Yeah,
beautiful
it's a
throw.
great throw.
That's high-level football, right? And not many guys can make that throw, especially rolling right. You can't create as much torque going right as you can going left. So, boom, you see his eyes,
Yep.
right? If he throws that ball right now, that could be a headache, right? Good job of holding with his eyes for half a second, ripping it down the sideline. And that's just an aspect of his baseball background right there,
Yeah.
right?
What was the quarter of that first?
First quarter, same thing. Right? Baseball background. Look how level his shoulders stay. Look how calm his head stays through the throw. Perfect. Freeze frame. Right? The best of the best do that. Breeze, Brady, all those guys, they keep their head completely still throughout a throw. Dot City. Great job. Excited to watch him play this year.
Oh, yeah.
So when you see a play like that, would you rather have that play? It doesn't matter when it's done, or is it kind of like, I'm trying to make a basketball reference here, but like when you take a heat check, right? Like the Steph 3 that we saw in the Olympics to close him out. He took that because he made the earlier shot, so he was able to take
if
that.
He didn't maybe if he didn't make the earlier throw, he doesn't make that throw, right? It's one of those things where you get into this flow state, right? But he's also such a free flow type of player. Right? The way he throws the ball is special, right? So he trusts his arm. Trust it. Roll with it, man. If you trust your arm, if I'm a quarterback coach or any type of coach, and you trust your arm like that, trust it. Because good things are going to happen. I'm never going to pull the brakes on that type of guy, you know?
Definitely.
So, great stuff.
I made this comment on the last pod talking about Mahomes, where Mahomes can make the craziest throws, but you don't always want him making those throws.
No
you
doubt.
want to give him a situation where he has the one-on-one like we saw earlier, and then he has a slant like we saw earlier. So you don't want to just depend on Max's, highlight ability. You want to be able to ease him into those throws.
And I think that Coach Miller does a great job with his offense, right? A lot of plays out, get you into your comfort zone to build off of. And Coach Miller is very organized the way he does things, and I think it's going to allow him to thrive in that type of offense.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah. Guys, that was awesome.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, man. That's a lot of fun. I'm excited to watch the Niners this year. Game 1, JMU, baby.
Yeah, August 31st, man. Alex Highsmith will be the honorary captain. He's coming down.
huge.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Actually, let me back up. He was the honorary captain last year. I know he's coming. I don't. Okay. Biff Poggi's trying to get Dale Jr. to do it. If he can do that, Biff Poggi can do it.
Cool.
That'd be awesome.
Chris, man, we really appreciate your time. To the listeners, appreciate y'all tuning in.
Yep.
And we'll be back soon.
Yes, sir. Roll Niners, baby.